Good morning, everybody. My name is Allison Griesel. I'm an IBM Social Business Manager. Today, we are going to be talking about the API economy and API management. This is a preview session for one of the events going on at Interconnect, which is at the end of the month. And today, we're going to be talking to Alan Glickenhaus. So, Alan, take it away. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. So, as Allison said, my name is Alan Glickenhaus. I'm on the product management team for API management, API economy, and I'm the business strategist. So what I do is go talk to different companies around the world about what they can do with APIs to be successful. Been doing that for about a year and a half now, and it's very exciting area that everybody's very interested in.
Well, I know I'm interested in it, and one of the questions that I have for you is what exactly is an API?
Sure. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's a very old term, been around for decades, that has been used for many years to talk about one software program calling another software program through a very technical interface. Unfortunately, that same term is now being used here, and we don't really have the same definitions. So it's not about just any software program calling another software program. What we are talking about now is being referred to as a business API or a web API. And the idea here is that a company can take a business asset and make it available through this interface for somebody else to use. So a business asset might be bank account information, or loan rates that a bank offers, or maybe in retail it could be your product list, your product catalog, the pricing, your inventory, things like that. These are business recognizable assets that you have that you could make available through this easy to consume interface, not a very difficult technical one that somebody can then use and do something with.
Wow. Okay. So it sounds like somebody like me who just uses their smartphones and computers, it sounds like we don't really touch APIs, do we?
Well, you wouldn't use an API yourself in the sense of you would be a developer would use the API and create things that you as an end user would see. So your smartphone, the web interfaces, could be accessing APIs behind the scenes. In fact, one of the most common use cases that people do, companies do, is to create mobile apps. So all the mobile apps that you have on your phone that are accessing your bank account information, or if you go shopping at a particular store and you want to find out what the prices on items are, those are probably accessing APIs to get to the back-end systems in those companies. The other things you might do with your smartphone might be social media kinds of things. And so if you're doing things with Facebook or Twitter and tweeting things or whatever, and LinkedIn, you see those little icons often that say, tweet this or like this on Facebook. Those are actually invoking APIs that put those things out into Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. So you are using APIs, you're just not using them directly. Somebody's written something that you're seeing on the interface that invokes the API.
How do we manage them?
So there are a lot of APIs and there are a lot of apps, of course. And I think there'll be more and more coming forward. Companies need to be able to manage the APIs that they come out with. And there's a logical progression that most companies do to move from internal use cases for their own APIs, for their own employees, to maybe a partnering kind of a model, and then maybe a public model as well. So you need to have an inventory of what APIs you have. You need to decide which APIs are going to be made available to which audience, and then control the access. So you can set up certain rate limits and things like that, and security context of how someone can sign up to use the API, whether they're going to be charged for it, and all those kinds of things. And that's what our API management products do. So they help someone consume the API as a developer to use it, if they're the right audience that you want to make that available to. And then once they've put it into their app, for example, and that app is invoking the API to get to the back-end data, we then can tell how many times they've called it to be sure that we have the right security and the right amount of control over that access. So API management is very important. If we just let APIs run loose, you would not be able to find an API that's useful to you, and you wouldn't, as a business, have control over your assets, which clearly nobody is going to find acceptable. So they need to have control over the assets, and they need to be able to make the APIs available under a controlled mechanism. And that's what API management is really all about.
So why are APIs so important? I mean, you just said that they're everywhere, that we touch them every day. They're in a lot of the apps that we use. So other than because they're extremely useful, why are they important?
Yeah. So, a couple of reasons. There's been a long-term challenge where the business side of a company wants to do things very quickly, but in order to then do it, the technical side, the implementation takes a lot longer than the business would like. So issue number one that we try to address is something we call two-speed IT. The speed that the business wants to run at and move very quickly and do new things, and the need for the IT organization to make sure that everything is secure, stable, and that the systems don't go down. They can't throw changes into those back-end systems and have things fail and take the whole business down. That would be very bad, right? So what APIs do is provide this gear shift between the things that are running at a more controlled rate of change behind the scenes and the faster consumption of those assets for a front-end system of engagement, we call it. So that's the first use case, and almost everyone starts with that. The second one, which I think is even more important, is to expand your channel infrastructure. So today, we have the internet, we have mobile. You make, as a business, your assets available through your interfaces to your customers, right? If you're a bank, you have a banking mobile app. If you're a retailer, maybe you have a mobile app, or certainly your web interfaces, and your customers come to you to do business with you on your app. Where this is going to go is that other parties will use your APIs and represent your offerings to potential customers. So, for example, you see it today in the travel industry with all the different travel search engines that are out there, like Orbitz, Expedia, Travelocity, all those kinds of things, Kayak, which are searching through the different airlines, hotels, and so on to find you what you want. They can be using APIs from those back-end companies to offer the different airline options to a consumer. So a consumer doesn't have to individually go to every airline website to find out what the different options are. They go to one of these search engines across that. So that's an example. Another example that we often talk about is when you want to buy a car. If you are using something like Cars.com or AutoTrader or CarMax, any of these, it helps you through the car buying process, which includes finding the car that you want, but it may also include getting a bank loan, setting up insurance for that car. And so as all those different industries working together to complete a car purchase, the consumer has a much better experience. And from a bank's perspective or an insurance company's perspective, they can potentially get new customers. And so that's really the exciting part of the API economy. It's not just that you make things available to your existing customers, it's that you get new customers through this new channel. And that's, I think, probably the most exciting thing.
So it seems like it's a win-win situation for everybody involved, right?
That's what you really have to work towards.
Businesses.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we really have to work towards. So one in my conversations with customers, we always are discussing the value chain, right? So you may, as a person or company providing an API, see value in making that asset available. The question is, why does someone else see value in using it? And then what value are they going to provide to some end user like us? So when we want to access that app to buy the car, that's valuable to us. If I just had no value from that as an end user, then nobody's going to want to consume my API because it's not valuable to them, right? So there's a whole monetization aspect of this as well. And actually, one of the other sessions I'll be doing at Interconnect is about monetization. so we'll talk about that at Interconnect as well.
Well, that's actually a perfect a perfect transition. Don't know why survey came in. So where can I learn more?
Yeah, so you mentioned on the opening that the sessions, API economy and API management, why is everyone so excited? I'm doing that. I'm really thrilled. I'm doing that with a Gartner analyst, Paolo Malinverno. Let me get his name right. Paolo Malinverno. I think I said that right. He's one of the lead analysts at Gartner in the API space. And so I submitted this session for Interconnect, wanting to do really an introductory session on why is everyone so excited about this API. What are the things that people are doing about this? Let's show real use cases, things like that. And Paolo offered to join me on that. So we're going to have a great time talking about the marketplace, what's going on, and things like that. And if you're not, an expert on APIs, this would be a great way to get started with where people are going to be going in this space. there are a tremendous number of sessions, and we have actually multiple tracks where these sessions are going to be visible during the when you sign up for the conference. You can make an agenda and put the different options on there. So lots and lots of sessions, whether they're beginner to advanced, business oriented or technical oriented. We're going to have panel discussions. We'll do demos. There's actually hands-on labs, for technical audiences. If they want to actually try the product and make an API, they'll be able to do that there as well. And I mentioned, I'm having a few other sessions, so I have a whole bunch. I'm going to be leading a panel discussion with some customers. I'm going to do a monetization session, which is a very hot topic. People are looking at this as a way to make money, and so what is the way to make money in this space? And the other question we get a lot is, how do I know where I am in the journey to an API economy? And so myself and another colleague from IBM, Rahul Narain, will be doing jointly a API journey map session that'll talk about an asset that we've created that talks to how we see businesses progressing from just getting started with APIs to moving to a cognitive era in computing with APIs, with Watson APIs and things like that. So very exciting content all over, every single level of, whether it's technical or business, introductory or advanced. Whatever you need, it'll be there.
Well, perfect. One-stop API shopping, right?
Yeah, it really is. I think one of the other things which I should always mention is the ability to talk to other customers. So when you're there, you can talk to the other customers that are there, what they're doing with APIs, as well as talk to the IBM folks like myself and see, what we can do to help you understand this better and what you can do with it. So we all look forward to that.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much for your time today. I really, really was interested in learning about APIs, and now I feel like I know more. And thank you, everybody who joined us, and have a wonderful day.